You can't help others by becoming less. You are not here to suffocate your own potential. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sylvia Salo and I help lightworkers and starseeds to remember who they are. And in this video, I want to talk about you unconsciously or consciously trying to become less than who you are in order to fit in or to make other people like you, or for various other reasons. And this is something that simply doesn't work. I know at the first sight it may almost look like that it's something noble when you lower yourself down, but this too stems from the ego. Because remember that the ego always wants to go into extremes. So it either wants to make you feel like you are more important than other people, or it will make you feel like you are much less than other people and pushing your value down. But if you truly live in alignment, it means you are not more than who you are and you are not less than who you are. You are right in the center. And when you are in the center, in alignment with your power, with who you are, and you are allowing your essence to pour through your cells and to be seen just the way it is, without censoring it, then your greatness can come through, and this is actually healing other people as well. This is what we are all supposed to do here. So when you are living in that alignment, you are in your center, and there is no ego in the center. Remember, the ego is like the swing of a pendulum. It wants to kind of push us into one direction and then go into the other one. And so we can be doing this movement for the rest of our lives, or we start finding that center point, which means in this case that you acknowledge your gifts, you acknowledge your greatness, you acknowledge those things that make you unique, you own it. And at the same time, you don't allow the ego to tell you that you are more important than other people. Because when it comes to our worth, we are the same. We are all worthy. We all have value because our worth and our value comes from our divinity. It comes from the way our souls were created. Luckily, it has nothing to do with anything on this planet. Your worth and your value is untouchable. You cannot add more to your value by doing the right things. And you also cannot remove your value by not doing the right things. It's just the ego trying to manipulate us into believing that something outside of us is holding that value and worth and giving it to us. Now we are worthy. Now we are a worthy human being. It doesn't work that way, luckily. So when we are trying to become less than who we truly are, in order to make other people feel better, what we are doing is we create unequal relationships. We put someone else on a pedestal and at the same time pushing ourselves down. And this, of course, creates codependency in relationships, which I believe is really a huge issue on this planet. It's always been, and it's still ongoing for thousands of years. If one thing could heal, in my opinion, then it's healing codependency. It's something completely different if you come together, co-create something as two or more sovereign beings. Or if you come together in order to get something from the other person. Or to use the other person as a source of something for yourself, because you don't know how to access it on your own. And so if we have to play those codependent games on this planet, then of course it's quite suitable game identity for the ego to believe that you are less than who you are, or that you are more than who you are. Remember, you are looking for the alignment. Alignment is just right, not more, not less. And so when we believe that we are less than other people, or we just use it unconsciously or consciously as a tool to get something from other people, we are at the same time doing very unkind thing to everyone else around us, because we maintain the illusion. On this planet, we feed the illusion in other people's minds and in our own mind. And you really can't help anyone by becoming less than who you are. It's a completely different topic if you actually don't know who you are. There is a whole journey to truly discover yourself, and that's alright to be consciously on that journey. But while you are on that journey to knowing yourself, don't diminish yourself. It's so important to truly check our deepest intentions here. Because if, I don't know, you meet your mom, you go for holidays to talk to your mom, and you spend some time with her, and at the same time you notice you start pushing yourself down, making yourself little and small in her presence, then check your intention. Maybe you are trying to actually make your mom see you a certain way because it's easier, you may avoid some conflict, or you just want to manipulate her into doing something for you. Check your deepest intention always. If there are not pure intentions, then it's coming from the ego, which means something has not been fully understood. And so, at the same time, you really can't help other people by becoming less. It never happened, I dare to say, in the human history that someone would say, oh, she is so little, she is so small that it actually heals me, finally. Someone became small enough so I can heal. Never happened. And if you know some example, please let me know. I would be quite surprised, but yeah, it's more likely that when we look at those amazing ascended masters in the past, they were not afraid to own who they are, fully and completely, and express it. And by doing so, they were able to heal the masses of people, and we still live in the results of their teachings. That frequency and energy is still vibrating across the collective field for thousands of years. This is the power we have inside. And in order to activate it, we truly have to find that alignment. I'll say it one more different way. It's not spiritual or saint or amazing even to think that you are less than who you are or to belittle yourself. It may seem like that because the ego likes to twist all the thoughts and beliefs so it can serve its purpose. But actually it's not spiritual. It comes purely from the ego. And one more very, very practical example. Imagine that the whole universe would decide that it starts using some saving mode because it got too far, it expanded too much, it became so great, so shiny. And the neighboring universe is feeling being threatened by the greatness of our universe. And so our universe would decide to put on a saving mode and switch off the lights of the stars, cancel some wormholes, maybe destroy quite a few planets so it could occupy less density and become even less visible, try to hide as much as it can. I know that this is a silly example, but this is exactly what we are doing. You really cannot make yourself small enough to heal someone, to help someone, to make someone else actually genuinely love you. It doesn't work this way. So when we are becoming less, there are a couple of reasons. One is, as I had already said, we are unconsciously or consciously trying to manipulate someone to do something for us, to be the source of the light for us. Another reason is that it might make us feel safe. And we might feel being protected because for a long time we all been conditioned. I believe the majority of humankind, not everyone, but the majority of humankind was conditioned to be less, to make yourself as small as it gets, and then be a very good person and never ever dare to explore all those chambers within your consciousness. Don't even dare to explore who you are. Just stay where you are, because that way it's easy to control you. You're low maintenance, you don't threaten anyone. So it's a way of feeling safe. But again, it's coming from an illusion. So there is actually no safety there. It just seems like there is, but there isn't. And the third reason that I want to mention in this video is we are afraid of our power. And now if you know me, I mean, like if you've been working with me one-on-one through my mystery school, you know that I talk a lot about our relationship to our power. Because so many problems come from us not understanding our power. We are afraid of our power, so we don't even, try to step into our power. We don't even try to understand what being in our power means. But let me tell you, if you truly embraced your power and you healed your emotional and mental body, so they would become balanced. That's what I mean by healing. They are stable, they are balanced. They don't take you out of your center. Then you don't have to be afraid of your power. You will not misuse it. The misuse of power happens only if we don't understand our power. And so if you don't understand that there is that space for the ego to offer its own explanations, that's a problem. The second reason why we might misuse our power, as I had said, is if the emotional and mental body are not balanced. But if your emotional and mental body is balanced, you understand your power, you are not trying to escape from it. Actually, what will happen is that you will feel more humble. You will actually feel like you want to genuinely help other people. You will develop very strong compassion in your heart. Because if someone is truly powerful and truly strong, they don't need to prove it. They don't need to misuse their power. It's only fake power that needs to prove itself in order to maintain the illusion that it's powerful. And so, when you try to become less than who you are for whatever reason, it's not working. It's a waste of energy, time, and your potential. And it's a minus for everyone on this planet, to be honest. Because we all can make this huge transition where we are only if we stand in our center, if we stand in our power, and if we understand who we are. Now is not a time to create some new illusions, and it's not a time to close our eyes from our greatness. And of course there is something unique in you. But how can you see it if you were taught to stay low, and low maintenance? And by becoming less, if you are a light worker and you are actually here to help other people, you cannot heal anyone like that. It doesn't work. It can help the other person just for a couple of days, or maybe if you get lucky for a few weeks. But then they fall back to where they were before, because it was all coming from a place that wasn't genuine. It wasn't genuine in your heart. And you unconsciously contributed to creating more illusions in the other person. And the only way to truly learn how to use your gifts is to understand who you are and finding that center within you. So, becoming less doesn't help anyone, and it certainly doesn't help you. It's okay to have fears. Fears can be faced, they can be addressed, they can be transmuted. They are not real. You don't have to be afraid of your fears. You don't have to be afraid of illusions. They can't harm you as long as you are willing to see the truth. If that's your deepest prayer, then you don't have to be afraid of those fears. They don't have any real substance. It's only by not exploring your mind, your consciousness, that you give your power away over to those fears. But you actually don't have to be afraid of them. So, what would it mean to really stand in your center and to be in alignment with who you truly are? And now it's not so much about like having some definition like I'm this and that and it means this. No, that's not what I mean here. It's about feeling and knowing, the deep knowing. When you know something, you don't have doubts, because knowing is always complete. There is no space for doubts. It's something that you know with every cell of your being. And so when you step into that space of knowing yourself, then you are able to find that center within you. And that actually helps other people. And one more thing, the light in you will always trigger the darkness. That's how it works. Light triggers darkness. And so when people get triggered by your light, it's not personal. I know it seems like it's happening to you, against you, and so on, but it is not personal. You have to understand that if there was no trigger, if there was that neutrality, then there is no growth. And actually, everything is okay. There is nothing to be healed if it's neutral. But if your light triggers someone else and you are afraid of it and you are trying to become less than who you are, you can only trigger someone because there is something in them that actually resonates with your essence, with your light, with the things you do. If there was no resonance, there is no trigger. And so actually, from the higher perspective, it doesn't really matter, if people heal one way or another. It doesn't matter if it will be through the light, and ease, or the other way. It's our choice. This is our personal choice. We all have to go through that awakening. Everyone. So we either let it be easy and nice or not. That's a choice. We have free will, at least in some things. So what would it mean if you truly stayed in alignment with your true self? How would your life change? In which relationships you would step more into your power? Which situations wouldn't honor the being you are anymore? How would this one thing ripple through your entire life? Really take some time to contemplate this thought and see what change can be created through you standing in your power, knowing who you are, being in alignment with yourself. So I hope you have enjoyed this video and that it has made you think about who you truly are and what kind of beautiful changes it can create. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe. It helps my channel. Thank you so much. My love to you.